Yo, what is up everyone, back here with another video. Today we're going to be doing a video talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus and going to be talking about its impact on VGC, kind of what what effect it would have on the VGC metagame should these Pokemon be able to be transferred over, or should, something happen where like we're able to like play these games, or like not play these games, but like have this Pokemon. Even if these things only carry over to Gen 9, they still have a relative impact, so I'd like to discuss that. Also, too, before we get deeper into the video, I would like to discuss this X9 League Series 12 Championship that I'm hosting. It's a free entry tournament, 11 rounds of best of 1 Swiss into a hard top 8 best of 3 cut. It's also going to be using, it's pretty much going to be focused around that, right? And kind of having a really good tournament experience. We're going to be streaming top 8. Also, too, I mean, it's literally free entry for like a tournament, right? So definitely consider joining. I'll have this link down in the description of the video. But yep, thank you guys for that. Anyways, so pretty much here, I mean, what I find really intriguing, right, is the Arcanine form. I just want to specifically highlight this Pokemon, one, because I think it looks super badass, and two, Arcanine just, it actually kind of makes sense with its typing that it would maybe be decent. The only thing is that why would you use it over normal Arcanine? Like, it would need some other coverage to make it completely useful. That being said, like, it does get some, like, cool moves, right? Like, it gets majority of the same moves that Arcanine gets. The nice thing, though, is that I'm pretty sure you can teach it rock moves because it's actually a rock type. I hope you can, because then, if not, I would be kind of skeptical. Okay, apparently you cannot teach this thing rock moves? Or maybe it's only showing the... Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know, huh? Well, oh, if you... Okay, there we go. Okay, so it does learn Rock Slide. There you go. I was just under the wrong one. Okay, yeah. So it does get some good rock moves, right, which is kind of interesting. So I actually think that's really sick. It also gets Stone Edge, right? This could give Arcanine a little bit of potential, too, because it can do something a little bit different than Incineroar. Having the Rock type, Fast Intimidate, right, Fast Rock Slide is, like, really cool. Could actually change up how Arcanine's played a little bit. So I actually think it's kind of a cool thing. We'll have to see if it's something that would actually impact competitive. I'm also biased because I just think the design's really cool, so I hope it's good. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go into the actual form changes. Big spoilers here. Do not keep watching if you do not want to be spoiled for the endgame of Arceus. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So these are actually the forms I want to talk about a little bit more. This actually is like super crazy if you look at it. So the reason why I think that these forms would be incredibly strong is because it literally takes out of stats that are unimportant for them and just commits it to stats that are like absolutely incredible for these Pokemon, right? So for example, right, with Palkia loses 20 attack, which doesn't matter, and it goes into its special attack set. Like, let me even just pull up a Showdown tab and show you guys, right? So Palkia's problem in formats is typically that, you're kind of stuck with like a middling speed tier. But if you were to give this thing 120 base speed, I mean, let's look at something with like 120 base speed, I guess. Okay, Dugtrio, right? This thing can hit up to 189 speed, which would let it pretty much outspeed everything, like Whimsicott below, right? And the nice thing with that is that it would actually be like a really strong damage dealer. I mean, it literally lost no offense, right? Like, its stats are completely the same for the most part. Then Dialga here, right? If you look at Dialga also had a 120 attack set. That gets taken out. I believe that, where did that get put into, actually? That's a good question to ask for Dialga. Or did Dialga get screwed? 100. Oh my god, did they actually screw Dialga over? No way. Oh my god, bro, they actually screwed Dialga over. Bro, they didn't give Dialga anything. What? Damn, bro. They didn't give Dialga anything. Because it's... Right? Wow, yeah, Dialga got screwed. Anyways, Palkia benefited from it a lot. I'm going to open up its form now, so if you guys want me spoiled on what it has, I mean, too bad. That was what the warning was for. So, really interesting. The Palkia here, right, like, it turns into this with the Lustrous Globe, so I'm kind of, or, like, Lustrous Globe. There we go. I almost said Orb. Or Glorb. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so like it gets some really interesting moves, right? And like actually combined with the increased speed, you could actually do a lot with this. I'd actually feel like it would change Palkia and make it even better because you'd be able to be like really fast with like fast max Wormwinds, fast max Geysers. I can only hope that something like this would be brought into Pokemon like Sword and Shield. Like obviously at this point, hoping that they update stuff is like a little like probably not gonna happen. But like it'd be cool, you know, because then it would give these Pokemon like a breath of fresh air, right? Now, the thing with Dialga, unfortunately, with the origin form, is that it doesn't actually get a buff from what I can see, which kind of sucks, because, like, I was kind of expecting it to, like, you know, I don't know. Would have been cool if it got something. But, yeah, I mean, Dialga's pretty much the same, unfortunately. No benefit, which is really, honestly, kind of sad. And then, yeah, we have the masculine forms. I don't particularly see this being that great. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, that's really interesting, actually. So only female basculine. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so both male and female. It's just a white stripe basculine can evolve. Okay, I get it. No, that's like this Pokemon's like interesting, I guess, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like that great. Like it still gets adaptability, which is cool. And it's a double type, right? What's the type? Yeah, water and ghost. So like that's kind of cool because you get like 2 stab moves, right? And like the nice thing here too is that you actually get like you know, like some other offensive moves that you can utilize, right? Like I hope that in future gens or like if it gets transferred to Sword and Shield, that would get other moves, but like I mean it's kind of cool. I don't think it would be that great though in you know, like the restricted format right now, right? So if we're talking related to restricted format, then it doesn't really matter. This one I find the most interesting, honestly, because I feel like this Pokemon can actually have a place in competitive, depending on like you know how good it is relative to everything. The only thing is that right now it's kind of like bad versus Zacian if it were to ever be brought over, you know. But it does get some interesting you know moves like this move here. The user attacks by wrapping target in fierce winds brimming with love and hate. The move's additional effects depends on the user's form. Like, see, that's really interesting, right? Because then you have, like, a thing you can utilize. And, like, the abilities here are Contrary or Overcoat. I don't think you would use Overcoat. But I find Contrary, like, really interesting, right? Because that means, like, you could do, like, stat boosting with this. You could potentially leverage it into stuff like maybe Eveltal even, right? So, like, for example, like, this can actually check something like Eveltal because if it snarls you, then you just get a boost, right? So I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool. Oh, okay. So healer, contrary are the hidden, and then it's just overcoat in the Therian form. Okay. I mean, I guess. Yeah, the Therian form. Dude, this looks so. It looks so goofy, though. I'm gonna be real. So interesting. Anyways, now we go into the fun stuff, which is going to be the attacks. So for the attacks itself. A lot of these ones are interesting. I feel like what they're gonna change is like they're not gonna be the same obviously when you go into the next like gen or like if you bring any of these moves with Sword and Shield, right? Um Barbarage. The user consistently launches toxic barbs to inflict damage. This may also poison the target. The move's power is doubled if the target has a status condition. See, this is kind of cool because this one is almost like Venoshock, right? But like it's like Hex instead. It's like Hex, but it can also poison, which is like really kind of crazy. So that's like a cool move. I would definitely like to see that. Then we have, I think that's only on what's it called? Overquill, I think the name is. It's like this. What's it called? The Quillfish evolution, I'm pretty sure. And then the user attacks with spine-chilling resentment. This may also leave the target with frostbite. See, this one's cool, right? Because it's a ghost type move, but it also can give the target frostbite, and it's basically hex. Like, I don't know. It's just really interesting. It's like multiple hexes, pretty much, right? This user attacks with savagely cold winds that force both body and spirit to tremble. This may also leave the target with frostbite. See, again, another frostbite. So they're adding a bunch of things that can actually give this you frostbite, which is kind of interesting, right? Because frostbite as a whole is like a good mechanic. So if you guys don't know what frostbite basically is a special burn. So it burns them. Their special attacking moves do less damage. So it's functionally a burn, basically, just on the special attack. Which is a really good implementation. I hope that they replace Freeze with that, because Freeze is an ass mechanic. I do not like it at all. But yeah. The user slashes its shell blade at target, aiming to land a critical hit. Shell splinters left behind the attack will continue to damage the target for several turns. So basically, this is kind of like a wrap or like one of those moves that like consistently deals damage, infestation, those kind of moves, except it's not trapping. Also has a high critical hit rate, apparently, unless this is like flavor text, I don't know. But yeah, it's probably a Samurott move. Chloroblast. The user launches its amassed chlorophyll to inflict damage on target. It also damages the user and lowers the user's action speed. So I would just see this as like maybe lowering speed if like this were ever implemented. This could also be a really cool move for like sun Pokemon. So something like Venusaur, because it's basically like almost Leaf Storm without any drawback, right? So that's kind of cool. All right. Dire Claw. The user lashes out with ruinous claws aiming to land a critical hit. This may also leave the target poisoned, paralyzed, or drowsy. See, that's just kind of like a strong move. The fact that it can like status that much is actually really cool. Esper Wing. The user slashes with aura-enriched wings. This also raises the user's action speed. I would just assume this would raise their speed, if anything. This move has a heightened chance of landing a critical hit. I would also think that this is the Braviary move. I don't know for sure, but this is probably the Braviary move. Headlong Rush. The user smashes into the target in a full body tackle. This also lowers the user's, defensive stats. So this is kind of like ground close combat. I mean, it's kind of cool because you're getting like the, good damage, consistent damage you can't miss. The issue that I have with this is that it's 100 base power. I'd hope that they change this to 120, but this could be really good for some ground types, right? Because what ground types struggle with sometimes is like high horsepower is like 95 power or something, but like it's also 95 accuracy, which is just really dumb, right? Like, you want a consistent move. And then, like, Earthquake, you hit yourself, right? So, like, ground types don't really have a great move. Even if this went into something like Landorus, this could be a game changer because Landorus always has to use Earthquake, right? Infernal Parade. The user attacks with myriad fireballs. This may also leave a target with a burn. The move's power is double. So it's like Hex, but it can burn, pretty much. Honestly, a lot of these moves are like Hex, which is really interesting. But yeah. The user heals its own status conditions and restores its HP. Incoming moves also become more likely to miss. See, this seems like this one could be really annoying. I think because it's called Lunar Blessing, I would assume it's Cresselia. I don't know. But that would be like really obnoxious, actually. So I'd be kind of surprised to see that come over. That one might say in Legends of Arceus, but that could be really busted if you have that on like something like Cresselia, who's already like annoying, can recover HP, and on top of that, like you're less likely to hit them. Like if that ever happened in VGC, that would be like really disruptive. The user hurls giant chunks of ice at the target to inflict damage. Okay, pretty straightforward. I mean, 100 base power, this is a pretty strong move. The problem with the ice type is that all their moves aren't really that accurate. I would have liked to just see this be 100 accuracy, honestly. Like, there's no reason not to just make it 100 accuracy. Ice types have it rough enough. Mystical Power. The user strengthens itself with the mysterious power. If it excels in offense, its offensive stats are raised. If it excels in defense, its defensive stats are raised. So that's really interesting. I don't know what Pokemon this is on, but I could also see this like actually being kind of interesting. The thing is like, why wouldn't you just use a consistent like Swords Dance or Calm Mind though? You know what I mean? If you would think so. I mean, the nice thing is that you actually get damage, right? So you get the damage in the same turn. So I guess that's kind of cool, but yeah. Power Shift. The user swaps its offensive and defensive stats. Okay, yeah, I mean, we've seen that move before. Psy Shield Bash. Cloaking itself in psychic energy, the user slams into the target. This may also raise the user's defensive stats. I think that this would be a little better. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you my number one pet peeve with Pokemon. When they give us 90 accuracy moves for no reason. Like, there's no reason why this thing should be 90 accuracy. There's literally zero reason. Like, why would this be 90 accuracy? You know? That's like annoying. Also, 101 accuracy is something I've never seen before, so that's like kind of weird. Oh, I guess because like, oh, it can never miss. Okay, I get it. Yeah, anyways. Raging Fury. The user rampages and spews vicious flames to inflict damage on target, then becomes fixated on using this move. So it's basically like fire rollout kind of, but the accuracy just ruins it, right? Like, it's just, like, these accuracies are so bad. Like, your accuracy needs to be 90 or higher, and the benefits of the move have to outweigh the accuracy, right? Because, like, why wouldn't I use something like Flamethrower where I'm not trapped into the move, you know? Like, yeah, this is just kind of weird. Sandshear Storm. The user attacks by wrapping the target in fierce winds and searing like hot sand. May also leave target with a burn. See, this seems like it could be a spread move. The problem is because it's 80 accuracy, it can actually miss a decent bit. So I wouldn't actually probably use this that much. I mean, the chance it could burn is kind of nice, but you could definitely just miss, right? Then you have Springtide Storm. The user attacks by wrapping target in winds brewing 11 hate. The move's additional effects depend on the user form. I don't actually know what this is, but also these accuracies are like killing me. Guys, The last thing we need in VGC is like more 80 accuracy moves. Like I already cry using Precipice Blades. We have Calyrex with 100% accurate, like 120 base power move, and we can have like Groudon with fully accurate Precipice Blades. Like it's so silly. User swings its stone axe at its target, aiming to land a critical hit. Zone splinters left behind by this attack will continue to damage target over several turns. That's fine, I guess. I could see it being like, you know, I could see it being used for like the residual damage, but I'm wondering if the residual damage effect is going to be taken away if this ever gets brought over. But yeah. The user lifts its spirits, healing its own status conditions and raising its offensive and defensive stats. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad move, actually. That's actually kind of cool to, like, remove burn. I actually don't mind that one that much. That's actually a really cool one. The user delivers an axe kick, then fires. This is probably a Decidueye's move. This raises a chance of future attacks landing critical hits and also lowers target's defenses. That's actually a really cool move. The base power probably compensates for that, but yeah. User performs a dance to usher in victory. This raises the user's offensive and defensive stats and increases the damage dealt by the user's moves by 50%. That's cool, too. I actually really like that. The user shrouds itself in water and slams the target with its whole body to inflict damage. It also damages the user and raises the user's action speed. So this is like speeding you up. It's pretty offensive, but there's recoil. Okay, so there's recoil on it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all right. Wild Bolt Storm. The user summons a Thunderous Tempest and savagely attacks with lightning. And when this may also leave target with paralysis. See, that's not worth it. Like 80 accuracy, that's not worth it. I wouldn't see the most of these moves. Honestly, most of these moves just seem kind of like gimmicky moves, and like anything 80 accuracy just seems not worth it. So that's really interesting. Then finally, I wanted to go over the, I guess, new status conditions. So first off, people have been saying this to me in chat. Drowsy is not better than sleep. Drowsy is actually way more annoying because it lasts like forever, right? And that's not really that great. So I wouldn't, yeah, exactly. Now it acts more akin to confusion without the hurting yourself. See, like, that's not really that great. I don't want that. Like, I would rather just have guaranteed couple turns that I would at least wake up from and then be able to play the game. You know, I wouldn't like to be drowsy like the whole game. That'd be really frustrating to deal with, actually. Now, Frostbite is super, super cool, in my opinion. Frostbite's actually one of the coolest changes. I think this is something that I have been begging for the past like few games. Like, please just replace freeze with special freeze. Like, this is perfect. If they keep Frostbite and they don't bring drowsy over instead of sleep, it would literally be the best thing ever, right? Like, just keep sleep the way it is, replace freeze with Frostbite, and you have like a really good improvement on the mechanics and maybe improve paralysis, right? But like, this is super good, right? Like, special burn is like the best way to balance out like freezes so that they're not like obnoxious and like uncompetitive, but also like contribute something to the game. Because then there's like an actual strategic factor to it, right? Also, too, the nice thing is that you can even add something like a ice type Will-O-Wisp, right? And like have that, and like I feel like that would be really cool, right? Like, I don't know, like freeze burn. Well, actually, I think freeze burn exists. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, no, that'd be super cool. So that's the last thing I want to touch on. I think Frostbite is just super crazy. It's like, honestly, guys, out of everything here, right? Like, out of everything I've seen, I mean, maybe the new forms would be cool to see carry over. Like, I mean, I think the new forms would change VGC in terms of Palkia really being faster. Like, that's huge. I could see that being good. That, and also to, just, what's it called? This mechanic, I think those are the two single best changes in the game. I hope that this carries over to VGC. Drowsy, not so much. But I think if some of these changes were to come over into Sword and Shield, Frostbite wouldn't be until the next gen for sure. But I think out of all the things we have discussed, that Palkia coming over with, with the increased speed stat, let me go back here. Palkia with the increased speed stat would change the format 100%, because Palkia would be way more threatening. It'd be super offensive. It'd be actually a lot harder to stop because of its speed tier. And it wouldn't be tying with like silly things. So that's like actually something really worth noting. Also too, max speed timid Palkia would outspeed bulky adamant Zacian. So Zacians would have to creep Palkia as well, for the most part. So that would be really interesting to see. If anything, honestly, if I had to pick one thing to come over right now to VGC, it would be the origin forms, because I think that would be really cool to see. Dialga's is just cosmetic, which kind of sucks. Like, that's actually really disappointing. Like, I was expecting, like, a better change there, but no, like, it's cosmetic. Like, oh, wait, actually, hold on. Oh, okay, no, my bad. It went into special defense. Okay. So it gets a better special defense, right? So it gets, like, 140. Okay, it has, like, better defenses. That's, like, better. That's better than I thought it was. Okay, that's not the worst. I'll like, you know what, Dialga? You're alright, man. You know what I mean? You got something, you know? But yeah, I mean, I guess it got the buff to its defenses, which is kind of cool, right? So, like, doesn't take as much. But yeah, I mean, I would probably say that, like, overall, Palkia really benefited from the buff more. But, I mean, Dialga definitely benefited, right? Because the attack set's dumb to invest into. Like, why do you want attack in any of these mons? So, yeah, I just think that I would love to see the origin forms come over. Honestly, I think that would be super cool. Now, the only thing with the origin forms is that I actually think that it takes up an item slot, right? So, for example, with Palkia here, right? It needs a lustrous globe. Now, the one thing that I think would make this better is if, like, Giratina's orb, it powers up the attacks. So, like, you know, the special or the water moves and the dragon moves, that would make this pretty good, right? So that would be pretty solid if we can get this on them. But yeah, no, that'd be super sick. I think that would make Palkia like incredibly better. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I just want to go over these changes and just kind of talk about what I thought was like interesting, what I thought was good, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, you know. But once again, guys, I mean, thank you so much for all the support, as always. I incredibly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the tournament as well. Make sure to support me on Patreon if you guys enjoy the videos and would like to support. And also make sure to check out Twitch, where I'm going to be streaming ranked battles consistently. Once again, guys, thank you for all the support. Incredibly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.